Today, the center of our debate is the Red Fort Upkeep Heritage Mitra program, which has gone to the Dalmia Bharat Group. We just heard the Minister of Tourism, Mr. Alphonse, who said, look, we are not going to wait for tourists to come to India. Tourism has the potential to create employment and, of course, grow the economy. So why should we wait any more? We've done a good job of handing the upkeep, at least, part of Red Fort to a private corporation. Mohammad Khan, your reaction? This government wants action.
Well, I was listening very intently to what Mr. Alphonse was saying.
Why is your angst?
Well, anxiously, not with angst. I was listening anxiously because I was hopeful that he would explain the motivations that have flummoxed so many of us over the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, Mr. Alphonse himself seems to be kept out of the high-powered committee meetings, which he himself said. He doesn't even know the number of people who bid. He isn't even clear on what the signage structure will be. A couple of millimeters by a couple of millimeters. I really hope someone from Dalmia Group is watching and know what they've gotten themselves into. I want to say something. Forget the Congress right now. There are people who do this for a living, like Mr. Suhail Hashmi. There are people who have dedicated their lives to the study of these monuments and their upkeep. The Indian History Congress is one of these organizations, and they have come out on Wednesday and issued a very strong statement against this deal. The thing is, Manisha, you have to have, and even Ms. Zakaria acknowledged this fact as one of the lacunae, that they haven't had the stakeholders who should have been at the forefront of this decision. They haven't. Also, you raised a very important point. 5 crores is the ostensible revenue that they suggest. But as Mr. Suhail Hashmi wrote, as per an RTI query, the revenue goes up from 6 to 7 crores year on year. So have you given it away for pennies on the dollar? This also needs to be investigated. By your logic, you don't even know who's bid and how many people have bid. Your financial bid criteria is weak at best. And also these people...
There is no financial bid criteria, but he also agreed that that is not the center to the point.
One last line, because it's very important to make. Look, learn from the Congress. The Aga Khan Foundation project with the Humayun's Tomb gives them nothing. They pay for the restoration. They bring in experts from places like Harvard, Oxford and Cambridge. These are people who've done this for 30 years with unparalleled expertise. They get nothing out of it, including no millimeter signage. So, I would suggest you look at that model.
All right.
That's how it's done.
Tasneem, could this have been done without, the corporate asking for any branding per se? Maybe we wouldn't even be having this debate. If they were just doing it out of the CSR fund, then why any kind of mileage at all needed?
Well, no, firstly, this is not about conservation. They are not touching the monument. I think that we need to be very clear about. They are talking about amenities in the vicinity of the monument, and that's the big difference between what the Congress did and what the Aga Khan Foundation represents and the work they've done. What's important also is to know that the National Culture Fund, which the Congress had set up during its duration, it was in existence for about 20 years. It could not garner any support from corporates. Why? Because there was constant tinkering of the policy, there was constant manipulation, the monies weren't going to the right places, and so if you look at the history of the National Culture Fund, it was a total failure. So I think what Mr. Alphonse is trying to do here, he's trying to, as he said, he's in a hurry, he wants to clean up, and I'm completely with him that it needs urgent action, that we do need to clean up.
Let me get Mr. Hashmi's views as well. Mr. Hashmi, so there were 4 bidders. We know that, right? Now it's in public domain. Now, the website says relevant project experience in providing similar services. So if I were to look at Dalmia Bharat, ITC, GMR, and Indigo, Dalmia Bharat is perhaps the least when it comes to consumer-facing businesses and the service industry, while the other 3 seem to have more experience. And if financial bidding was not the criteria, I'm left to wonder why one over the others. This is the answer which we have not received.
You see, I'll not get into that because I have a different take on this. I did some calculations. In 2010, the people who visited the Red Fort, if they were paying the same tickets as are being charged today, the income from ticket sale would have been 16 crore rupees from the Red Fort alone.
Right, sir.
Now, you take 10 crores of that and spend it on all the amenities that you want to do, and you don't have to be obliged to any corporate.
Okay.
That is number 1. Number 2, the second issue is that there was a parliamentary subcommittee. And Derek O'Brien, who was the chairman of that committee, he has come out and said they had strong reservations on the presentation made by Culture Secretary.
Okay.
And they had not recommended this scheme. Now, these people are in a hurry. But there is some parliamentary procedure. There is a subcommittee of parliament.
Which has itself raised concerns on how this process is being undertaken.
Finally, they have to finalize a report. The report has to be tabled. None of that has happened. And they have gone and begun hawking. You know?
Okay.
So, and that report strictly says, first set up pilot project, study it, see the impact, see how is it working or not before you hand it over to corporates.
And why not start with, I did ask this question, why not start with
absolutely.
a smaller, monument, then go with the biggest historic monument?
But you see, nobody is interested. These people are not interested in the major monuments. They are only interested in the major monument because they are looking at the branding that they will get.
Which will be only in millimeters, sir. Now, at least with this discussion...
The minister has said that, the MOU doesn't say that at all.
All right. Yeah. Gentlemen, we've completely run out of time. Tasneem Mehta, Sohail Hashmi and Mohammad Khan, thank you for joining me. Of course, not one site. I mean, it's so many sites which still have to bring in sponsors, which have to, be done in the right way. I'm going to sign off with my take. There's absolutely no quibble on whether private sector should pitch in with the upkeep of our heritage and monuments. They should. But the process has to be far more open, transparent, with very specific and precise guidelines before we can declare a winner for one of India's most historic sites. That's it from me. Goodbye. Thanks so much for watching.